We have Rittika Parruck today. Welcome, Ritika, to Financial Express Education. So, today we are going to hold the interaction mainly focused on the India UK MOU that has recently been signed for the mutual recognition of academic qualifications. So, with respect to that, I would like to have a few questions and your opinion on the same.
Thank you for having me on the call and looking forward to talking with you.
This whole agreement or whole memorandum of understanding is going to impact the education system as a whole in Indian perspective.
So, as a whole, it's a very important development that will allow the movement of students and academics both ways seamlessly. So, from UK to India, as well as from India to the UK, allowing for exchange of knowledge, improving research, improving teaching and learning. So, it's definitely going to have a strong impact on the overall improvement of the education system in all ways. It aligns to the national education policies, ambitions to internationalize Indian universities, and the India-UK Roadmap 2013, which both the countries wanted to create this collaboration and recharge their education relationships in that sense. So yeah, I think that's going to be really important.
Right. So the next thing is, if for all of us, if you can briefly like explain the agreement in a very short per se, and along with the career perspective, because students post graduation they mostly look forward to the career opportunities. So how it is going to impact in that way for the Indian students?
Right. So, in terms of what it says, the mutual recognition of qualification recognizes all qualifications, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral qualifications, and recognizes the secondary qualifications of India and UK as eligible entry criteria into each other's higher education institutions. So, that being said, what does it mean for students in that sense? Whenever a student looks to study, makes academic choices, there are three kinds of things that they look for. So, one of the first thing they look for is quality. The second thing that they look for is opportunity. And the third thing that they're looking for is networks. So in terms of quality, what the MRQ does is it recognizes mutually the quality of the education and assures that. And as you know, where quality is concerned, pardon my throat. Where quality is concerned, the UK universities are right up there at the top in the world rankings. They have very good faculty. They're international. The whole student experience is very positive. So that exists. The part where mutual recognition plays a big role is the opportunity. So up until now, the opportunity to work using these qualifications was always there. They could always work. They could become entrepreneurs, use their skills in different spheres. What MRQ has done has expanded that opportunity even further. So now not only can they work within the private sector as they have done, they can also work in the government sector. They can do research and they can carry on their academic aspirations in both countries. So it has really expanded that opportunity part of it, through this agreement. And this has to be seen in light of all the other developments happening. So India is really going forward in all its other spheres. Opportunities are increasing in general, and coming at this particular time, this is very, very significant.
So, as you mentioned about the government as well as for the private institutions. So, in the same light, I would like to ask you one more question: that will this MOU provide equal opportunities for the private as well as the government sector?
Yes, the government will also be able to recognize these degrees, and people will become eligible to apply for these jobs. If your qualification is not recognized, you lose the eligibility to apply for certain posts, for certain research positions, and certain opportunities. So what it does is it opens up the eligibility criteria.
Right. Exactly. The next thing is which will be the areas or for say the courses, be it science, science and engineering, or be it arts and humanities or commerce, which will be the sector that will be focused more under this agreement, or it will be, equal focus will be given? How will that thing happen in your take?
The MOU covers 80% of all the subjects that students opt for, when they choose to study abroad. So, it's the choice of 80%. So it covers all students within this category, whether they be undergraduates, graduates, doctoral degrees, and everything else. There is
Right.
a certain set of subject areas which are not covered, which is out of scope of the MRQ at this point of time. And these are outlined in the MRQ document. They are essentially engineering, medical sciences, nursing, pharmacy, architecture, and law. These are the ones that are out of scope of the mutual recognition of qualifications, because they are professional qualifications and have other guidelines which monitor them at this point of time, in that sense. Yeah.
Right. The next thing is, one of the very important thing that is concerning the students are syllabus of this whole thing. Like, if will there be a student exchange program, or will the students will be following the syllabus accordance to the UK pattern or the Indian pattern? So how that whole overlapping thing will happen?
See, the mutual recognition of qualification is an overarching agreement between the two governments that recognize all the existing qualifications that are happening. So, if you are a UK student who's enrolled in any subject in the UK at this point of time, your qualification is recognized now in India. So, that is not subject to any specific areas. But
Hmm.
what we are encouraging and what we hope to see is lots more people, lots more universities on both countries coming together to make these arrangements. And the way they will do their syllabus, or how they will design the courses that are jointly done, and offer a transnational education opportunities to young people, would be something that academics in individual institutions will be able to talk amongst themselves and formulate and create, because they're the ones who are most engaged with their students' needs. They know the market, they know the subject areas of both countries. And as
Hmm.
British Council, we actually, even before the MRQ came, launched a Going Global Partnership grant, which is a grant given to universities in UK and India to create these courses for their students. And the universities are working towards creating courses that students can then opt for. It may be, the TNE regulations by the UGC allows for dual twinning and joint degrees between UK and Indian universities. And once they
Yes.
have come through those, they can put in place MOUs that recognize these degrees that will be
Hmm.
jointly created, and young people in India could do part of their courses here and part of their courses in the UK, and
Hmm.
experience an international education in many different kind of ways, in many different subject areas.
Right. So the next question is, what is British Council's plan for this for India in terms of education for all, which the NEP 2020 focuses on mostly?
The British Council is UK's cultural relations organizations, and we have been deeply engaged with the process of the mutual recognition of qualification. We were part of the task force. We work with organization across HMG, Her Majesty's government, as well as with Indian higher education organizations, be it AIU, UGC, the Ministry of Education, understanding their requirements, and we play a facilitative role. So we help to bring these bodies together to understand each other, to create the best opportunities for young people. So,
Right.
as I said, one of the roles that we have already played is to give a grant to institutions to create courses that will be of most use to young people, that are relevant to their time, that are relevant. So some of the very interesting areas in which these courses are being developed is circular economy, sustainable development, which impacts cross curricular in different subject areas, and disaster resilient infrastructure. So those are areas that are topical to the moment, and will be of interest to students as well. So we encourage creation of these courses in these areas through the way we engage with the higher education sector. And one
Right.
of our key sort of, what one would think that would make us very happy is if lots and lots of young people of, different means, different economic means are able to experience international education. And that's possible through different models of transnational education, of different ways of teaching, learning that is becoming more and more possible as the landscape, the higher education
Right.
landscape is very dynamic and
Right.
is reforming in many different ways. So our thematic areas is definitely STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering and mathematics. We also encourage humanities research because we, want a lot of humanities research to happen.
Right.
One of the grantees that got a part of these, a lot of these have social, and so we are not really, we are agnostic to the exact focus areas, but we are very focused on things like gender equity. So, we have
Okay.
a program that looks at gender equity called Gati, which looks at creating a framework alongside DST in creating, systems and processes inside universities that allow equitable opportunities for women in their science careers, and also in gender studies in different areas. So those are the kind of generic work that we do so exact courses and we encourage thematic areas. One of our guidance for the grant, because that's how we influence the way in which the courses are developed, says that these have to be relevant to local context,
Right.
should be able to address the local employment pipelines, for example. So, that give an edge to young people on what they are able to do through that engagement. So those are the kind of things that we set out to do, which are generic, they're overarching principles. And we hope that the universities which are looking to be internationalized, so that's the
Right.
aspiration of Indian
Yeah.
universities, through these engagements, we want them internationalized, to have that experience for their students and to come up
Right.
with courses that are relevant. So we don't really dictate a particular or a specific course to be developed, but we kind of give a generic overarching view on the types of courses that we developed, which, as I mentioned, was around, things that are needed in today's
Hmm.
socioeconomic, geographic context of the country.
Right. So, along under this mutual recognition of the academic qualifications, I believe there will be inflow, there will be outflow of the students as well as inflow of students as well
Yes,
through the
yes.
student exchange program. So, how much this country, India, is prepared to welcome these students to the land, or what are the remedies, or what are the new development that is required for the country to look forward to for a smooth, systematic execution of this whole model.
So the Indian higher education system, you would have seen, has mandated now through its own regulations for its own universities having of international officers, putting up systems in place for it. So there's a strong drive by the Indian government to internationalize their own process. But from our perspective, the UK has a touring scheme, a scheme that supports UK educational institutions to send young people from UK to India to study or work, even if necessary, in postdoctoral, doctoral areas in different thematic areas. So there is a
Mm.
strong push by the government to encourage young people in the UK to come overseas and experience different, different ways of working, culture, just generally, learn from being in the country in that sense. So there is a particular scheme available by the UK government that supports this, young people from UK to come and work and study in India. And we have a lot of grants given to people through our existing or earlier programs such as UKRI and Newton, which had early career researchers exchanges, so they allowed the mobility of researchers to come from UK to India and India to UK as well. And going forward, we'll continue to work in this area, identifying areas of mutual interest and mutual, genuine mutual kind of offer of excellence in those particular areas. So this is a work under progress. So watch this space. There'll be exciting stuff happening here.
Right. So the MRQ is going to be conducted from this academic year or the next one?
So the MRQ came into effect on signing on 21st July 2022, and it recognizes all degrees, whether they were in the past or as well as in the future, or
Right.
those who are studying now. So if you did your masters in the UK prior to this, but now you want to come and you want to work here, your master's degrees are recognized. Your master's degrees or bachelor's degrees that you are, for those who are studying now, they will be recognized, and those going forward will be recognized. And it's the MOU is for the 3 years, and it will continue to be reviewed and ad infinitum. We don't see that it is going to change in any way. So it is from in effect from signing and will continue.
Right. So any other point that you would like to share with us?
I would definitely say that UK is a fantastic place when you're making your career choices. Your education not just gives you the opportunity to, as I said, network with a whole lot of people. So you come away with a degree, you come away with, now the GIR route is coming, you can come away with a work experience, you can come away with a high quality education. And with the MRQs in place, you can look at different models of learning and studying. So, whenever you're making your academic choices, do consider all these options that are opening up. Keep an eye, and I think you'll find something that suits every student's need and requirement to the T. So that's what we hope will happen as a result of this.
Right. That was beautiful insights shared with us, Ritika. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for this interaction.
Thank you.